What's up, everybody? It's a little bit of a different format today. Arctic is currently on his way back from PAX, so it's just me tonight. Just me and you. And is everything good? I hope everything's good. This is the most ghetto setup, and I've never set up the stream before, so hopefully we're all good on audio and video and all that good stuff. Let me know if there's any issues. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to talk a little bit about PAX and Halo Global Championships, and then we're going to go ahead and do some open calls. So I'll go ahead and post the link to the Google chat which we're using and just let some people hop in. I think that's a pretty cool way of doing it. I am on, I've been awake for, I think 26 hours now, so I'm going to try and do this for you guys. Try and do this for you. And I've got my friends here to help me get through. So obviously this week was PAX, and Arctic was out there working with loadouts, showing off the game and all that good stuff, and hopefully he got to play some stuff. I told him not to tell me if he played Titanfall, since that's what I'm most hype about. Anyone who's watched the show can tell you. So I'm hoping he got to play, even though I told him not to let me know. And then, obviously, the next-gen console stuff was there, too, so hopefully he'll have some insight when he gets on. He might also come on at the tail end of the show. I'm not sure. I think he actually landed about 10 minutes ago, so who knows. So let's do this. All right. Actually, I'm going to hold off doing that. So first I want to talk about the Halo Global Championships that was this weekend. They held it in Seattle at Benaroya Hall, I believe is how you pronounce it. It was the same venue which they used for the Dota 2 Championships, the International. Let's wait 15 minutes, come back and see if there was room in line all day. So yeah, they held it in the same hall. It was kind of a weird format. They did the qualifiers, which was like 200 some players, on is it Friday and Saturday? Oh, shit, this whole week's just been a blur for me. Yeah, I think it was Friday, Saturday, but they did the qualifiers. There was a stream, but it wasn't much of a stream. They just showed one person's POV, and you could just tune in and see what was happening and get kind of a general idea of what was going on. Every now and then they cut out and do some interviews and that kind of content, but there wasn't like a commentated stream. It wasn't like a traditional tournament where they'll commentate from beginning to the end of the tournament, leading up to the big finale. But for them, they just focused strictly on the finale, which was a around 2-hour broadcast of the final 8, with full production value and all that good stuff. 343 pulled out all the stops. I think it was probably just judging from the community, I'd say it's probably the best produced tournament in Halo history. Obviously, this is your first Arctic stream? Oh, that sucks. Not even getting Arctic. Our ratings are going to suck tonight. I think we all know that Arctic's the one that brings in the viewers. Instead, you guys are stuck with me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. So yeah, they held the event. The finals was around 2 hours. They did the 8-player free-for-all, and then they actually broke into 1v1, which I was really worried about. Halo traditionally hasn't been a 1v1 game. Obviously, they ran it for a little while for WCG, I believe, did 1v1. And then I think MLG might have done it for a short stretch. Was it a year? Maybe 2 years? Can't remember. But traditionally, Halo hasn't been a 1v1 game. It's not like Quake, for example, where that's the staple game type and that's what people play. Personally, I don't think 1v1 is the strong suit of Halo, but I can see where they were going with it. They wanted to have a big showdown at the end where there was 2 guys in the spotlight and competing for a ridiculous amount of money. First place was $200,000. $200,000. And fortunately, the skyline in the second map pack that came out is a small map, so it was able to work for the 1v1. The 1v1s were actually surprising. I think on the show I mentioned that I didn't think that it was going to work, 1v1 in Halo 4 in particular. because you can kind of run around for quite a bit and just escape. But Skyline was pretty small, and for whatever reason, the game is played out really fast. They did concussion rifle as a power weapon, so that was kind of what people were fighting for control of. But really, like, I didn't feel like the concussion rifle was a huge factor. If you watch the matches, I think that... Oh, shit. If you watch the matches, it was around a 50-50 swap of BR beating the concussion rifle, in fact. So I don't feel like the players had to move as much as they did, but put on a good show. I think that the 1v1 matches were all entertaining to watch. The final match even went to a tie, and then they did a tiebreaker or sudden death thing for the for all the money. So it was pretty cool. I can't really knock it. It played out pretty well. I think that the accessibility factor was there. It wasn't difficult to watch. I think you could follow along with what was going on. They did great presentation-wise, especially for 343 running their first tournament ever. That was, in particular, the most impressive thing. There's little things I can pick at, like the cheesy announcer stuff. Like they had like cheering spree at the end as they were like fading to black and stuff. Cheer apocalypse. It's like, oh, that was difficult to watch. And they did like an opera singer right before the finals, which was cool in its own. They did a bunch of musical acts over the course of the couple hours. But then they did an opera singer right before the finals, and I was dying because they did these cutaway shots showing the players like standing on the set of stairs that led to who the hell knows where. So they're standing there on the stairs, and it's like cutting between the opera singer, the players on the stairs, and then somewhere else. But it's funny because in one shot the players are standing on the stairs, and it's like there's Ace, there's Pistola, and then they cut away, and then 5 seconds later, the players are sitting on the same stairs. Like, they actually had a stage instruction that was like, all right, go ahead and sit now. All right, thank you. And then they go ahead and, like, just went off the stairs and went onto the stage and played their match. It was pretty awkward. So there was definitely areas where I'm sure that they would look at it and say they can improve. But in the end, I think that it was a successful tournament. All the Halo guys were super pumped. Even people who I know to be really negative in the Halo community. I'll go ahead and call someone by name. Coach Main, for those of you that follow him on Twitter. Usually really negative about Halo, and he was really positive all week after hanging out with the 343 guys and watching the tournament. So it seemed like everyone was happy about the tournament. Some people didn't like the fact that it was free-for-all. But I think at this point everyone kind of come to term. So the big thing for me is that I feel like they had to spend a ton of money on this, right? The prizes were, I think it was like 500,000. I could be wrong for overall, but the real cost was in like renting that hall even, and then holding this huge tournament and inviting all these people out there. Flew out a bunch of players, not all 256 or whatever, but they dropped a lot of money for a game that's been out for a while and that has been struggling, I'd say, as a competitive scene to kind of keep everything together since MLG dropped them. They've been running AGL, which has been pretty successful. There's some talk about UMG, so there's kind of stuff that can kind of string it along. But I think that what 343 needs to do going forward is lay out a clear road path of their continued support. And I've heard a lot of kind of murmurings from people on Twitter saying, hey, 343 supporting us, et cetera. I think that they need to commit to it verbally and say, okay, we're going to support Halo. We're going to do a yearly tournament, and there's going to be this much money at stake. So you guys can all build up towards that, and then tournaments throughout the year can kind of support that idea. It's something which Valve does with the International. They have their one big tournament each year, and then they kind of let other leagues and organizers run the other stuff. And I think that it would benefit Halo a lot if 343 came out really early and said, hey, we're going to support this. There's going to be another tournament next year. We're going to do this, this, and this. And then leading into the release of whenever the next Halo game is. If they don't do that, then I feel like they just spent a lot of money for pretty much nothing. Because really the entire point of this was that they were going to... Like, this is kind of the first step of them cementing the fact that they were going to support the competitive crowd going forward. So I think that they need to kind of carry the momentum and keep it going. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. That's my thought. The other thing that sucks is, as Hexanaut just said, we couldn't see the viewer count because they didn't put the stream on Twitch. They did the stream on their own streaming thing on Halo Waypoint, and then they played it on the Xbox 360 dashboard. And I'm going to say it was probably pretty low. That's my prediction. And I mean low in comparison to the mega streams that are on Twitch for tournaments for like League of Legends, Dota, StarCraft, even Counter-Strike, or even Call of Duty is what I meant. I'm going to guess it was low. But again, I'm talking to my ass. I can't verify those numbers because they didn't put it on Twitch. And they only stream 2 hours. Like, generally tournaments get their value because they can stream the entire week or entire weekend and pick up all those viewers over the course. So that's my thought. Father Rush says, can they seriously drop $500,000 yearly? I think the prize was really generous. Here's the thing. It wasn't just $500,000. It was $500,000 plus costs. So it's possible it was in the millions, right? Like, not millions, plural, but at least over $1 million as far as the actual overall cost of that. So I don't know. I don't think that it's sustainable. But the way they kind of spun it for this was they used it as a marketing event for the Xbox One. They played lots of advertisements for the Xbox One during the show. I think that it's one of those things, I've talked about it before on the show, that Microsoft's going to make a push to support the Xbox One launch and marketing. And if you remember back to 2006, 2007, Microsoft was sponsoring tournaments all over the place. They were all over the place. You had tournaments for all sorts of games too. You had like Guitar Hero tournaments, you had Fight Night tournament, you had there was Project Gotham tournaments, there was, I'm sure there's more. Dead or Alive 4. Then of course you had Gears. I think Gears was a big part of that push. Halo. Like, all those tournaments were around 2006, 2007 when Microsoft was throwing tons of money. And that's the thing, like, they're going to support their consoles, right? So 2006, 2007 they supported it. They're going to do the same thing now. This tournament was kind of an advertisement for Xbox One. They showed all Xbox One exclusive trailers. They were continuously cutting out to Major Nelson, who was talking about the Xbox One. So I'm sure they kind of lumped the cost in with the Xbox One marketing budget, which is gigantic, right? So can they do it next year? They still going to want to spend that money a year after that? It's rough because next year, depending on when they hold it, there probably won't be another Halo title. So they're still going to be supporting the older Halo title. Maybe they can lump it in with one big Microsoft event where it's like a tournament for not just Halo, but also for something else and something else. I don't know. I feel like that needs to happen, though. If they don't say something publicly and just kind of rely on AGL and UMG to keep the competitive crowd alive and rumors of a 343 tournament, then it's going to be difficult, right? So, all right, this is a bit scary. I'm going to post the link to the Hangout chat, and then I'm going to let people join. Please don't join if you don't have a mic or don't have anything to say, or you're going to do anything stupid. Don't do it. All right. This is where everything falls apart. This is where the entire ship just sinks. This is it right here. This is where it sinks. So if you have something to add, if you think that we have some good discussion about the championship, if you disagree with something I said, by all means, come on in. Come at me. This is going to go poorly. I do have a mute button, so be aware that I have a mute and a boot button. This is where it all goes to hell. As everyone's like, oh shit, he's just gonna mute and boot me. Alright, we don't have anyone? Alright then. Alright then. No brave souls. We'll move on to the next topic. Let me update. I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you for recognizing that you have nothing to say, that you would ruin the quality of this solo broadcast. I'm proud. Let's talk PAX. All right. So there wasn't a lot of news coming out of PAX. I was kind of surprised. They were kind of light on the news. I mean, they just had Gamescom recently, so I wasn't expecting a ton of stuff. But I expected a little bit, you know, just a little bit. Um, there was some like Mike Tyson, the one-man show. Let's see. So yeah, they didn't really show much. It was kind of the first time for a lot of the American public to get to play with the new console stuff. Um, but still, I think like Titanfall was running on PC still. Um, a few different games that are gonna be on like the Xbox One are still running on PC. I think PS4 is pretty much playable at all these conventions currently. Uh, but again, there wasn't much news. It was just kind of gameplay. So really, I put PAX on here, but I don't really have much. So what I was hoping would happen was we'd have people kind of talk about what they were hype about coming out of PAX. Because really, like, most of the stuff that I was excited for was announced at Gamescom. We talked about it last week. The one thing that did come out this week is there's no external storage support for the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. They both confirmed they're not doing external support at launch. So the Xbox will have the 500 gigabyte hard drive, and I think PlayStation, is the PlayStation the same? I should know. I feel bad. I think it's the same. But both of them, you'll be stuck with what you get. PlayStation added not at launch as their specification for when it'll be coming. It's possible to come out later on, but who knows? And it sucks you can't really push it. I'm fine with 500 gigs personally. I don't. It will take me a long time to fill out 500 gigs, and then you can just delete it and download the stuff later on. Like, as long as you don't have a download cap, it's not really an issue, right? Go through my list. Can't wait until Titanfall hits PS4. I don't think it is, Messy. They said it's console exclusive to Xbox. Maybe the next Titanfall, Titanfall 2, whenever that comes out. But it's Xbox One and PC only. Killzone, Killer Instinct, Infamous, and Titanfall are the only things looked at PAX. Yeah, I guess Killzone announced a lot of multiplayer details. None of which particularly piqued my interest. They're doing some stuff with custom game types, which is pretty cool, where you can save off your own variants and then people can play them. Similar to what a lot of games have already done before. It'll be a matter of if they can actually get people to play them, so you don't have to invite a bunch of people off your friends list, you know? That's what it is mostly. Like, whenever you have custom content, that's the biggest struggle, right? It's how do you get people to actually get to play it? Not necessarily how do you get people to create cool shit. It's how do you get people to play it, especially when it's just a matter of changing numbers and values, which is usually what it is. It's like, oh, the capture time is now 5 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Ooh, so creative. Obviously, there's connotations for competitive play. If people want to make a competitive mode, then it's pretty easy to get that community to spread stuff around. But as far as like if Joe Schmo wants to make a cool variant, then he can make it. But as far as getting people to play, that's a whole other thing. He has to have a huge friends list, invite tons of friends in. Has to be some kind of way for people to discover the cool thing that Joe Schmo made. Am I getting Titanfall for PC or Xbox One? I'm gonna be getting it for the Xbox. It'll probably play better on PC just because there's so much verticality. But I'm looking forward to a large community growing around it on the Xbox, personally. I think they'll embrace it more than the PC will, which is be strange because I think it fits more for PC gameplay. But I think that the console crowd's been waiting. I know a lot of the Halo guys are really excited for it. Sort of the Gears guys that I follow that haven't really been playing anything at all recently. So I think it's something that might unite the communities. which would be pretty cool. And if they throw competitive money support behind it, it'd be even cooler. I think that'd be pretty badass. Let's see. There was a couple articles. I'm trying to find it so I can link it to you guys. Project Spark, which I've talked about a ton before, they showed off some of their level linking stuff, which is really cool. Basically, it's just the same as the level transition, you know, like, for example, in Mario 64, when you jump into the paintings and it loads up another level. They have support for kind of the same thing. You just kind of like select a area in the world and you can go in and use the world as a hub to go to different places. And it's just a loading screen, then you load up the next map is all. Did we talk about... I didn't talk about Next Level last week, did I? The Next Level? Ubisoft's casual tournament system. They announced it, I think, before PAX, so not sure if it counts as PAX news, but they announced they're doing this thing called The Next Level. Let me find a YouTube link real quick. Hold on. Want to take it to the next level? This isn't it. Oh god, this is awful. Ubisoft. Watch as I Google things. High production value. Let's do it this way. The next level. So that was that. And then I think they actually ran some tournaments at PAX to kind of be like the introduction to the next level, which is supposed to be their competitive thing. In case you noticed, there was some competitive Rayman in there. There was some competitive Just Dance, I believe. So they're aiming for an accessible means of competition, I guess, is what their overall goal is. So I think they even had trials in there, which would be like time trial type stuff on the trials maps. It's interesting. I think it's something that Kayla and I have talked about a lot on the show, is the sustainability of developers targeting the esports audience without having like great understanding of what it takes to support competitive gaming. You can throw money at it all you want, but if you don't create a sustainable model, then it's not going to work. Stuff like that, like I just don't. I practice Rayman now. Like, what's going to happen, and what happens inevitably, right, is you have these casual competitive games until someone like me picks up Rayman because you made the prize worth it for my time. and then I can just start practicing Rayman and have no fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what ends up happening. And then you aren't, like, reaching the casual crowd anymore. You're making casual people hate the competitive crowd because they're taking the fun out of everything. Especially when you have a game like Rayman, which I'm sure has bugs, right? I'm sure it has bugs. I'm sure you can exploit the shit out of it. You look at, I mean, even multiplayer focused titles have bugs which end up needing to either like be banned from competitive play or patched or something. You know, like there's always something. Hell, Splinter Cell is probably the most competitive title on there, and it has some really screwed up matchmaking, and they don't have any custom options and no spectate, and like there's almost no ability for them to run anything outside of holding a booth and having people walk up and play. It just seems like one of those things where they're just like, it's obviously it's Ubisoft marketing. They're going to focus on Ubisoft titles. They did say that they might, or they said they'll try to have titles from other games or from other developers in their league, but who knows? It's nice to see that Ubisoft cares, but I'd prefer to see them like throwing money behind one of their competitive titles like Splinter Cell instead and doing it the right way. I think that's more sustainable than Just Dance and Rayman tournaments. Just saying. Yeah, Bronco, no Arctic tonight. He is getting home from PAX. I think he's actually driving home probably now. Yeah, there was a Blacklist clip in there. But like I said, it's been one of those things where it's just like you go up to the booth and you play your Blacklist tournament. It's not going to be anything, no online aspect, I would imagine. They can't really even do online aspect for Blacklist. It'd be a nightmare. I've talked about how, we talked about briefly 2 or 3 episodes ago about how online play is going to be pretty huge next gen because everyone has a capture card now, right? So the cheating aspect isn't nearly as bad. Developers are also starting to put more money into it. In the sense of there's more like metagame features. You look at stuff like the what's the Call of Duty service called? Shit. Call of Duty. Someone help me out. Their online service, Elite, Call of Duty Elite. You look at stuff like that, and that's kind of becoming the norm for a lot of the AAA titles, is to have that kind of stuff. And with it, hopefully, APIs so that developers can just plug right in and be able to pull the stats. Like MLG did it for a little while with game battles, where you could pull the stuff from Bungie.net, and you just like at the end of your match, you'd actually put in the match link from the Bungie.net website, and then they would just pull it, and you'd be able to auto-report that way. And it was a lot more difficult to dispute, even without footage. And then obviously you have replays in Halo as well. So hopefully these things, along with the ability to capture and dedicated servers on Xbox One, should eliminate a lot of the hurdles that online play had. So I would have preferred if the next level was more focused on that kind of stuff for online competition versus weird offshoots of booth tournaments, essentially, is what they're doing, right? Booth tournaments. They're not going to have, like... I would be surprised if they had a standalone tournament that was for that thing. Like, I'd be surprised if they had the next level tournament where they bought out a convention center and had everyone show up. Like, it's not targeted at that. It's more side competitions at booths, just to kind of spruce things up a bit. So, those are my thoughts. Oh no, I just minimized everything. Ah. Alright. I don't think I got much more. I was really relying on you guys to hop in the chat and make this a mess. I was really relying on it. You guys let me down. Just saying. No one has anything to say? Nothing at all? Just gonna make me talk to myself for an hour? It's fucked up. So I have a main game I play right now. I'm playing mostly Dota. And yeah, hell, I was good and combine this in one. Dota has a ton of team shuffles going on right now, and it's fucking awesome. Seriously. You got guys moving countries to go play for a different team. Like, just straight up just leaving their country to go to China to, like, join a team. That's awesome, right? Do you imagine that? Just like the big tournament happens, and then you just like, kind of upset where my team was at. I'm just going to move to China and join another one. That's absurd. And so awesome, because now there's like these dream teams setting up already. And I think that within the next 2 months, there's going to be some like super dream teams in Dota. It's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. MLG picked up Dota, but released. Oh yeah, I saw that. Fucking DreamHack scheduled the exact same time as Anaheim. After I think it was, it was probably almost exactly a year ago that MLG and DreamHack and ESL, ESWC all said that they were gonna work together to make sure that they didn't overlap dates. And then just like a year later, it's like, MLG Anaheim's the same day as DreamHack. Really? Did you even try? I know the logistics of that shit is really complex, so I can't really talk, right? It's not easy finding a convention center that's cheap or affordable or available during a time frame. Do I think Dota will keep up support for another year and grow or slowly die? Oh yeah, it's gonna grow, especially the next year. I think that after that is when we'll start kind of actually being able to have consideration for that question. But it's definitely going to grow between now and next year. You'll see it break 1 million viewers easily for the International 4. Last time it kind of struggled to hit that mark, and it may have not even actually hit that mark because of the multiple streams and shit. But I think that next year it'll hit the point where it's really easy. Yeah, I agree. I think DreamHack will probably get the Dota crowd a lot easier than MLG. Part of that's the MLG North American scene is pretty much non-existent, right? Outside of a couple teams that are sponsored by big American companies. I say big American companies. I mean like large teams like EG and Dignitas and that's it. EG and Dignitas. I think did Complexity have a team at any point? I don't think they did. Memory is not working. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much of an American scene. But that said, MLG had their tournament recently for qualifiers for their stuff, and they filled the team list easily. It was like 250-some teams signed up. But would those guys pay to travel to a LAN? Probably not. I think that most people in Dota recognize they suck. And they would just get whooped by the pros, so they wouldn't, like, pay to go cross-country to play in a tournament. Then I paid to go watch one, like the International. But if you're going to pay to go to one tournament during the year, is it going to be MLG Anaheim or the International 4, right? Liquid, yeah. Fuck, I'm an idiot. League of Legends teams getting sponsored by Samsung? No, I didn't hear about that. It's not surprising. Teams in Korea have been sponsored by major companies for a long time now. Some of the largest companies in Korea actually sponsor StarCraft teams. The more you know. Alright, we're gonna do this one more time. Pew! There's the link. If anyone's got anything to add to this conversation. Otherwise, I might just start. Oh, I can rant. I can load up a game. What time is it? How long have I been going? I can't see the clock because I have it blocked. I'm not sure I can do an MP manifesto. I've been awake for 26 hours. Mostly, I just want to talk about matchmaking, how much that all the games get it wrong. Was, I guess, where I wanted to go with it. But I'd like to at least have some bullet points, so I'm not just sitting here like I am now, just stalling for time, trying to figure out something to talk about. I don't know. I feel like it might be a topic for another day. Blow your Dota load of info. This is going nowhere. Alright, hold on. Halo 2 and Halo 3 have matchmaking right? I think they were mostly right. There wasn't quick match. That was a huge improvement over where we're at now. Did I rant about how they have just quick match in Splinter Cell? That's fucking stupid. Uh-oh. Eh? Where do I think Gears of War got it wrong? Bronco, if you look at last week's episode, we talked a lot about Splinter Cell. We did like a mini review of it. It's probably about 25 minutes long. I think that the consensus between both Kale and I was that it was a good rent, but I wouldn't purchase it. And you guys suck. I was really relying on someone to hop into this chat. Really relying on it. Alcohol can only go so far, right? Otherwise, you're just slightly drunk and talking to yourself. Not really helpful. I'm stunned that there's still 40 of you here. Stunned. Well, I was gonna see if I could load up like Blacklight or something and play, and then we could just like do it that way. But I've got a patch. It's probably gonna make the stream lag too. I got nothing. Hold on. I got something. Hold on. Uh-oh. Hopefully the stream didn't just break. It might have broken. Oh, we're good. I want to talk a bit about my game of the year from the last gen. It's something that we're probably going to hit at some point, right? We're probably going to eventually talk about this before the Xbox One comes out. Here, let's do this. Chat, what was your game of the year for the current generation of consoles? Or game of the generation for the current generation of consoles. What would you say was the best game that came out during this generation from the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3? Hell, I even throw in the Wii. What would you say is your best game? And then I'm going to trumpet with my game of choice and maybe play a round or two. Because whatever you guys say is going to be wrong. The Watcher 2? What is that? Gears 1, not a bad choice. Gears 3 beta? It didn't even change that much from beta to shit. Just saying. Actually, I'd say it only got better, but more people were slamming the servers. GTA 5 isn't out yet? GTA 5 might be a contender. I've heard a lot of love for Saints Row as well. Some guys at work were actually ranting about it today. Last of Us, I haven't played that. I watched some multiplayer though. I'm a multiplayer guy, so it looked interesting. BF3, I had a guy giving me shit last week because I said that BF3 didn't interest me as much as Titanfall, or BF4 didn't interest me as much as Titanfall. The guy was giving me shit in the YouTube comments. Despite the fact that you guys might remember a couple weeks ago, I said the Battlefield had perfected the genre of arcade military sim, and that Battlefield at this point was just kind of coasting on it because they've already done it perfectly. Like There's not much more you could do. So I said that, and then last week I was like, I'm not really that excited for it because it's more of the same. I'm more excited for Titanfall, which is kind of new and next-gen-y and new IP and everything. But then, yeah, he's giving me shit for saying that for downplaying Battlefield. Downplaying is not excited for it. 50-cent blood on the sand? Skyrim. That's a good choice. I didn't play it as much as I hoped I would. Like, I played through the game and it was alright. And I was hoping for mods, but I lost interest by the time mods came out. COD 4. Oh, we got COD 4 with the Kappa face, then COD 4 was awesome, legitimately. Alright. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah, that's outside of the scope of the show, but yeah, I'd say that's a good game. Witcher 2, Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Alright, so no one said it. No one said my choice. And let's go ahead and switch this over. Shit, which one is it? Alright, now everything's gonna break. Nope. None of those are right. Nope. Nope. Fuck it, we do it live. And this is the most ghetto shit ever. I'm a disgrace to streamers right now. Ah, that's not good. Let's not do it that way. This is what happens when we do it live. You get awful production values. I do have dual monitors, but I'm using like my second monitor as the cameras, as you can see. That's why I'm blocking my face right now. This was the best game that came out during this console generation. And let me move stuff around. So I'm going to play a game, and then I'm going to count the ways in which this game was the shit. And let me get some of this stuff back. Oh man, this is the most ghetto setup ever. Sorry, we're doing it live. And shrink this down. We're gonna get some stretching, whatever. And then we got the logo. Let's go move that up. Move it up. Is there a shortcut for this? Oh, there we go. That's right. We did it live. Let's play a game. My personal preference was on console. The PC version's okay. Not the greatest. Specifically, it launched with Games for Windows Live, which was not that great. When they released it for Steam, it was much better. There was still some weird performance stuff, which I think held the game back. But in a lot of ways, and you guys are going to see the fucking camera shaking this entire time. Here, I'm going to show you guys my setup. This is my setup. This is, let me see it. So this is my camera stand, right? And then I got like my usual monitor set up and drinks and shit. So I'm using a fucking cracker box, and then I can't show you obviously, but my camera is actually my phone, which is about as ghetto as this setup can possibly get. Just saying.
So 200 kills will get you.
Oh no, we have people talking. We're gonna have to mute people. So yeah, Gotham Imposter is probably my favorite game by far. I played it at E3 2011 before it came out. I think it was. And it blew me away then. I was actually in line to play it like 6 or 7 times. How do I mute people? See if I remember. Whatever. Hopefully people don't talk. So yeah, I was in line to play it like 6 or 7 times. Played it a ton. I feel like it was kind of weird because the build which I played at E3 was probably better than the ship build. If you played it on console, you might know there was like weird frame rate hitches when you played. But a game like this that fucking kills it. If it had shipped without the frame rate hitches, it would have been better. So the customization stuff's really cool.
Guys ready?
This is not the setup I had.
Mama! Mia! Mama!
And let me see if I... So the thing which blew me away with this game is the movement options. There are so many ways to get around the map.
Wow.
As you can see, this is...
What a beast.
Come on, dude. How do I mute people? Players. Let's do it this way. Oops. There we go.
Alright.
YOLO swag. Alright.
Bye-bye, planet Earth!
I will turn the game audio down too so you guys can hear me.
We ready to roll? Okay, let's try.
This is essentially my sales pitch for fucking Gotham, right? So, there's all this movement stuff. This is just one of the options. Is the grappling hook. And it's not actually my one of choice. There's about 6 or 7 different... Damn it. Yeah, switching time. There's about 6 or 7 different loadouts, which can change the way that you move throughout the map. You have like the gliders, you have jump boots, you have roller skates. And then they actually added stuff when they did patches and shit as well. And each of them can change the way you play the game quite a bit, but the biggest thing is its mobility. Like, you're always looking up. It's probably the most vertical game. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that out. It was the most vertical game that released this generation. The most vertical game. I'm sucking. Hold on. Where's my usual kit? Did it just erase my shit? Was I messing around last time I played? Alright. But yeah, I can't think of any game which really pushed vertical gameplay more than this game did. And as a result, I think that it plays really fun. And the movement aspect changes things in a huge way. Alright, there we go. Glider. That's what I want. You can literally just fly around the map for ages with the glider. Because there's these vents. You just kind of glide from one to the next, and then... This is the way I usually play it. I played heavy, and I just ran around and gliding and hitting the vents and slamming into people. Oh, I don't know what the weapon does. And let me show the loadout stuff. So each kit you have a primary weapon, a backup weapon, support item, which can be... It's usually like your grenades and stuff, or traps. But in this game, like, they don't do anything just at face value. It's not like you just have a grenade. For example, the boomerang you throw out and it bounces off someone and it comes back to you, and what you expect a boomerang to do. Pretty crazy stuff. Shit. Of course, it's all fucking bear traps and pipe bombs on here, which makes a very poor argument, right? But the big thing that threw this game, which made this game special, I think, is the gadgets, as I was saying. So you have like glider, spring boots on all of them. Jetpack was actually released as DLC. Grapple gun. And then who cares about this fun fact stuff? It's basically perks, but they weren't implemented in a way that really mattered. You can kind of build your set and everything. But overall, I don't know. This game just, it played the smoothest of any game I played, by far. Shit. There's a skill aspect in the sense that they reward you for headshots. I'm going to blame the stream for why these shots aren't hitting. Why does this do no damage to him? I feel bad. Usually when I play this game, I stomp everybody. What about Shadowrun? Shadowrun. I never got into Shadowrun. I couldn't tell you why. I was in during the beta. I don't think I purchased the game, but way later. The SMG was what kind of harmed it for me. It seemed like during the thing, everyone was playing with the SMG during the beta. Can I actually get a kill? Can I get a kill for you guys? Thank you. Versus the rifle, which everyone ended up using eventually. I'd say it was good. I'd say the Shadowrun is probably what a lot of people would say from the competitive crowd. But I don't know, it just doesn't... Shadowrun didn't play this fast. I mean, look at this shit. As I fucking fail. Shadowrun didn't play this fast. Shadowrun was trolls hugging Tree of Lives. Look at this. Fucking Spider-Man. The megaphone, like, heals and buffs allies. Specifically, like, if it weren't for this game, I think that my biggest takeaway from this generation would be that loadouts suck, right? Call of Duty, I think, popularized the idea of having custom loadouts and the idea of kind of letting people choose how they want to play the game. And up till this game, I think I would have said that it's a bad thing almost every single time. But this game kind of changed my mind because there's quite a bit of variety. There's lots of different viable shit. That game ended really fast. There's lots of different viable stuff, and actually choosing how you play when it comes to movement is very gratifying. I think that that's going to be the takeaway for next gen, and I really hope that movement is the push for next gen. Which is why you guys hear me ranting so much about how awesome Titanfall is. Like, to me, Titanfall is a vertical movement-based, like, Call of Duty or Killzone or, you know, like, it's the way which I wish those games went instead of going for the realistic military sim kind of approach. And for me, this game, Gotham City Imposters, was my favorite from the generation because, hold on, let me show you this too. It was my favorite from the generation because it actually kind of made me say, oh, hey, loadouts can be pretty fun if it's done in a way which is cool. Gadget. So here's all the gadgets. I don't know why they're not unlocked. I've played a bunch on this. So Titanfall, or Titanfall, as I'm reading the chat. Jetpack, Ninja Smoke Bomb, targeting goggles, like you can see through walls and mark people, but then you're stuck obviously just standing there with the targeting goggles. And people move fast enough, it's not really an issue. Inflatable insoles, you do like a double jump kind of. And spring boots, you go like flying up in the air once. Roller skates, there's these little ramps placed throughout the maps which just kind of send you flying in a direction, kind of like a man cannon, I guess. But it's a bit more satisfying because when you're moving around normally, you're on roller skates, so everything is more difficult to stop, but you're moving faster. Pretty cool. Glider obviously lets you dive bomb, as you saw, and grapple gun is grapple. And the other thing I wanted to show was the character customization, which is really clever. So you can go pretty far with these, and you can customize your people. Cowboy hat. But you never really lose the silhouette. Like, it's really similar to Team Fortress in that sense, that no matter what customization stuff, you can still recognize, hey, that's a nimble character, hey, that's a tough character, hey, that's a brute guy. I can't remember what the actual names are for him. But I don't know, just all around, this game did so many things right, and it really was my game of the generation. Despite being really underappreciated, I think. Special credit to Monday Night Combat, which was also pretty damn good. Oops. Let me put that up until I fix this, as I just completely fucked up everything. Oh no. I broke it. Oh, maybe not. Hey! I'm the shit. I'm just saying. Look at this. Whoop. We did it live, and we came back. Did it do free-to-play right? That's a good question. I guess I'd have to see their bank statement, wouldn't I? When it shipped, it wasn't initially free-to-play. The extra stuff was stuff you could pay for if you wanted to like unlock stuff faster, which is pretty cool. I think it's a good approach to the console end of things where free-to-play wasn't really an option. On the PC end, I'm not sure if people spent money. I'd say the game which did free-to-play right the best would be League of Legends, personally. Aside for the rune system they have, the way they do character unlocks is really, really good. I think that that's going to be... Obviously, they've made enough money that it's really obvious, and that they become the model for free-to-play for next gen. So I think everyone's going to be just copying what Riot does, which is good, because I feel like they did it the most fair way in terms of rotating out heroes every week. It's smart. I'm really excited for the Division. Looks sick. Play something else. Now I'm going to wrap up. Really disappointed no one joined. Disappointing, you guys. So yeah, hopefully next week we'll be back with our normal broadcasting. For those who don't watch, it's usually a talk with myself and Arctic, whose channel I hijacked today. We talk about games, any kind of recent gaming news, esports. Not much hardware, but I think that'll change once Xbox One launches. I'm just going down the counter, or the thing at the top. We sometimes are known to banter, and we talk about video games, obviously. So if you've never tuned in before, this show is not indicative of what you normally get. This show is driven by sleep deprivation and alcohol. Am I a Halo pro? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think that should be the new sponsor by. It should just remove the Razer logo and be like, sponsored by sleep deprivation of alcohol. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and post this nightmare of a VOD over to YouTube, and hopefully people enjoy it. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for the chat for giving me something to talk about, even if you guys all pussied out and didn't jump into the chat with me. Thanks for giving me something. So, we'll be back next week with your normal broadcasting, and I imagine that Arctic can actually give you some actual information about PAX, since I got nothing from the news this week. Nothing. Yeah, I do think I'm actually going to take the format of playing a game. Like, I want to do Blacklight because it's a good example of a game that I can play and kind of critique and praise at the same time. Since there's really obvious stuff which I feel like they could do better, and stuff they do really well. Like, I think that could be interesting doing it that way, and we might do it for next gen in particular. Could be cool. So, again, if you guys enjoy that, then let us know on Twitter. My Twitter is @SkyZyn, SKYZYN. And Arctic is @Arctic, as you see in the Twitch address. So, thanks for watching, guys. Be back next week. Actually, here, let's do some music to play us out. Oh, I just fucked that up, didn't I? Alright, peace guys, thanks for watching.